Let me see, let me see. Is everything working? I think it is. Alright.
I have 7 kids myself, and if something happened to one of my kids, I would be devastated. And
7 kids, wow.
We're here, and they're doing what they're doing. It's awesome.
A community still dealing with the grief after the murder of 2 young teenagers is using its heartbreak to give back to the families and to help police solve the case.
The number of tips phoned and emailed in now reached a whopping 5,600. All of them potential leads to track down whoever killed Libby and Abby.
The growing interest coming after the release of the recording of the suspected killer's voice
what's going on?
Found on Libby's phone.
There we go.
The other major clue is this grainy photo of the suspected killer walking along the trail.
Okay.
Tonight, Eyewitness News reporter David McAnally is in Delphi, where people are doing whatever they can to help find justice for these 2 girls.
Emory, a very busy weekend for the police as they continue their investigation, but also they have to get ready to move. The task force on this case, they're pretty jammed in here at police headquarters, so they're going to move over by the courthouse to a bigger space.
There we go.
Outside agencies walk High Bridge Trail, getting more familiar with the crime scene and what's become a national manhunt. With the wind coming up, the storm coming in.
Pray for Delphi, and on the other side, Abby and Libby.
Just checking if I can see my chat.
And the t-shirt made by a victim's sister. And just before the rain, a careful walk out on the old bridge in the building breeze.
And like everyone would just come out here just to like get away and, you know, clear our heads, and now it's just like you come out here and it's very sad and emotional.
But young people want to reclaim the good that was here from the evil that came 11 days ago.
It's kind of like a conclosure, sort of, because they
11
were out
days
here
ago.
last seen here, walking on that bridge. I mean, you're not physically with them, but mentally you feel like you're with them.
It may be the bridge a murder suspect walked, the image the nation sees.
Just check how these children just walk the bridge. Like how hard that is for them. If they do it on purpose, no clue. Well, they have sandals on, but still.
Bridge a murder suspect walked, the image the nation sees, but it's still a place that brings memories of good times.
It would give a lot of memories. And just maybe we just come out here and just like give our thoughts to them and tell them to look over us each and every day.
And then in the second, I think you see investigators and they go like a little bit faster.
And every day of the last 2 weeks, neighbors have looked over each other here.
Or do we have that?
I have lots of childhood memories from here. My
Oh, it's
grandparents.
still coming.
Sherry and Michelle Nichols drove in from Logansport, giving stickers to police made by Michelle's drag racing sponsor.
But when when it's a little community like this, and it's like, why are there monsters out there that would do such a thing?
Here are the stickers they were working on, and we look around and, well, there's the family again. Here from Logansport for a pizza fundraiser for Abby and Libby at Delphi Pizza King.
So you had a large pepperoni?
Large pepperoni.
One of multiple efforts here to boost the reward in the case now stands at $50,000. Son drove up from Indy.
I brought my family with us to just try to help out somehow,
Truly generous, though, isn't it?
My heart goes out to them. I pray to God they catch whoever did this to them.
I just got a bunch of news segment, and I think some of them are really interesting.
Libby and Abby. These 2 teen girls have not been spotted in nearly 24 hours. That's where we're starting today at 12:30. The ongoing search for Libby German and Abby Williams. This story is unfolding right now in Delphi. That's in Carroll County, about 20 minutes northeast of Lafayette. Now, I want to show you the view from Google Earth. The girls were last seen near an abandoned bridge known as the Monon High Bridge, just outside Delphi. The area, as you see, is heavily wooded, and there's a creek running through it. Rich Van White joined...
If that creek will be there. First, I checked that on Google Maps as well. I was like, what? Is that a roller coaster? But obviously it isn't.
Just live from the command center in Delphi. Rich, you've been talking with people out there. What's the latest there?
Well, the sheriff just briefed us a little while ago. He gave us details on the search, just how many people are involved. The fire department is now the command center for an exhaustive search that's covering a great swath of the county. More volunteer searchers are arriving here. They're ready and willing and able to start relieving some of the people who have been searching most of the morning in some of the wooded areas. From what we've heard and from what we've seen, there are probably about 200 civilian volunteers working with police, firemen, and others. They're searching woods, streams, fields, and buildings. The area, according to the sheriff, covers 20 to 25 square miles. Some of those areas, it's tough going. There are steep.
I'm gonna go silent. This is the day before, though.
We've apparently lost our connection with Rich Van Wyck, but the video that you're seeing here gives you an idea of how rugged this particular area is. The vantage point, it's more than 200 people right now are searching for these two girls. Again, these two girls have been missing since yesterday about 1 o'clock, and you can again see this abandoned bridge here leading through Carroll County and heavily wooded area. And we talked to a family member about what they think.
Well, yeah, this is
See, it's a small community that.
Listen to what he says, though. I mean, I'm sure he's a good guy, but the choice of words is not really handy.
Everybody pulls together. It's really heart-wrenching. You know what I mean? To see that, it's very touching, very moving.
You have trouble looking over there.
Yes, I do.
Because
it's a rough time right now.
But why? The girls are not found yet. Listen to that again. I mean, maybe it's just the emotions that's speaking, but
it's very touching, very moving.
You have trouble looking over there.
Yes, I do.
Because
it's a rough time right now I'm going through.
Our hearts go out to the...
See? Well, it could be nothing, though. It could be just the emotion speaking. I mean...
families as this search continues there in Carroll County. We're covering this story on WTHR.com. We've got a lot of information there. You can see pictures of the girls, the search area, all on WTHR.com. And of course, our coverage continues throughout the day on our website.
Right.
Today marks 5 years since 2 teenage girls were found murdered along a trail in Delphi. And 5 years later, their killer still has not been caught.
Abby Williams and Libby German went out for a walk at the Delphi Historic Trail February 13th, 2017. They were found dead by the Monon High Bridge the next day.
Fox 59's Max Lewis sat down with Libby German's family as they continue to wait for answers in this case.
February 13th, 2017. 13-year-old Abby Williams and 14-year-old Libby German had gone on a walk on Delphi's historic trails, and a family member was on his way to pick them up.
He was getting close to there to pick him up. He'd been calling her. She wasn't answering.
After calling Libby dozens of times with no response, her grandparents Mike and Becky Patty, along with other family and friends, went searching for the two best friends.
Stay in a group.
As the night progressed, it just continually got more worried, you know, that something's not right here.
The next day, police and hundreds of volunteers scoured the deeply wooded area. And then a phone call came that would change everything.
So there's a lot of misconception about this part. So I listened to it multiple times, but I guess we can state that's a fact. What's coming up next? Because there are a lot of speculations on who called who, and I think Libby, her grandma, will just tell us that.
One of my friends that was with me hunting, her husband was in.
Hunting, and I think in a way like searching, but I could be totally wrong about that.
Another group that was going along on the south side of the creek. He called his wife, and then she come running out and said, "Hey, they found him, they found him." I remember looking over saying, "Are they okay?" I hadn't, and she wouldn't answer me. About that time, the coroner's van came by, and that's when it became real.
The girls had been murdered. Details about how they were killed have never been released publicly.
I almost lost sense of what reality was going on. I mean, it was hard to fathom what we were going through.
The discovery set off a massive police investigation involving local, state, and federal officials. Within a week, police released evidence found on Libby's cell phone, including a picture of the cold-blooded killer and this chilling recording. Then 5 months later came this sketch. Tips flooded in, but still no answers. More than 2 years after the murders in April 2019, police took the investigation in a new direction.
To the killer.
who may be in this room. We believe you are hiding in plain sight.
Cops released this new sketch of the killer, saying they believe he's younger and is from or visits Delphi regularly. Investigators also put out this video taken from Libby's cell phone and an extended audio clip.
I mean, I know a lot of people say that those voices are similar, but in some degree they sound kind of different, but I guess it's the same guy. If police tell us that, then it's factual, right? But you can hear like a different pitch, like down the hill is way lower than guys down the hill, like that.
In the past 5 years, several potential suspects have emerged. The most recent coming this past December when Indiana State Police
Fat Boy
asked for
Keegan.
information about a social media account named Anthony Shots. That account solicited nude photos of teenage girls between 2016 and 2017. 27-year-old Keegan Klein had been tied to that account when he was arrested a week after the girls were murdered. However, ISP hasn't said how or if that account is connected to the case.
We're stuck at February 14th, 2017 when we found him. We're still there. We don't get to move on and grieve because we don't know why.
For Mike and Becky, Libby will always be 14. She would be a freshman in college this year and should be standing next to her sister Kelsey at her wedding this summer.
She should be Kelsey's maid of honor. And she's not gonna be.
They say all they can do is wait and hope someone comes forward with information. Because even 5 years later, after an unimaginable loss, the one thing they still have is hope.
So once he's caught and we know that he can't hurt anybody else, then we can start grieving, and then maybe we can figure out how to move on with our lives.
In Delphi, Max Lewis, Fox 59 News.
Prayers still going out to that family and for investigators that they can quickly and at some point bring resolution to this case. We did speak with investigators last week about where the case stands, why it has not been solved. You can actually watch that story on our website. There you will also find the Delphi tip line where you can submit any information, no matter how big or small you think it is, that could help police catch the killer. That is on fox59.com.
Okay, let's see. So I'll watch these segments. And there are some interesting things though that I do not think is common knowledge, but
There's a lot of people in town that's keeping their eyes and ears.
you doing alright, Lynn?
It's been almost 4 days since the search for two missing girls turned into a murder investigation. But there's still no resolution in this case, with no arrest yet and no answers about what led to the death of 14-year-old Libby German and 13-year-old Abby Williams.
Police say they'll work through the weekend collecting tips from the community. And today, investigators returned to the area where searchers found the girls' bodies to look for more clues. Eyewitness News reporter David McAnally is in Delphi tonight, where family and friends are preparing to lay Libby and Abby to rest.
A busy working weekend for local and state police as they run down tips that come in this case with the help of the satellite dish that's been brought in and dispatchers coming in from other counties.
I'm good.
To deal with those tips. Friday evening, state police hurry into the cemetery, returning to the crime scene. Undercover officers did some work and left about 20 minutes later.
Thank you for asking,
At the
though.
same time, troopers checking out a car left at the High Bridge Trailhead. Turned out to be a woman and kids out walking.
Yeah, that's also a misconception. I think that rumor came from Kelsey, that she saw a black SUV at the beginning of the trail. And that she saw a black SUV in her rear view mirror. And that's right though, she did saw it correctly, but as you just heard, it was just a family.
Shows the high pace of police activity that'll go through the weekend, they say. Near sunset, up on High Bridge Trail.
I thought it was important.
Okay, this is where it gets interesting, because we try to figure out where that sketch comes from, right? Like the old man sketch.
Chastity Gerald knew both Libby German and Abby Williams, the girls murdered not far from here. Libby was a good friend.
She loved to swim. And she's like always nice and happy.
Still hard to believe that it's happened, she says. Chastity was not on the trail Monday, but her friends were, and they told about a man they saw.
Yeah, they said that they had said hi and just like brushed him off and kept going.
I mean, that's interesting, right? Apparently no one saw him, but these kids saw him. If it is BG, of course.
Did they think he was strange, out of place, or?
They said he was, but then again, it could just be a rumor.
They described him dressed in black. Meanwhile, police continued the search for this man.
Okay, that's not correct though with BG, but
they say they want to talk to him about what he saw. And last night's search of a Delphi house will not lead to an arrest in this case, police say.
You can still feel the tension with it. Before it was peaceful, it's not really peaceful anymore.
Vincent brought his mother out to the bridge. Janine Carter has studied the photo released by police.
And we got the magnifying glass out. And
yeah, right?
Is what we call hunting pants.
Oh yeah, this woman gives like an amazing description of the clothes.
It's like something somebody that's into bird hunting or duck hunting would wear, and those was popular back in the 90s.
She and her fiancé among the hundreds who have tipped police.
And I told the detective, he said that it looked awfully like the guy he used to work with, and he said back then he knew that guy had a house down in this area.
What? I mean, that's crazy, right? I'd never heard this before. Wow.
And he said he knew he was still around.
Just one of the tips officers are running down.
Where did your Bob go?
Back on the trail, Chastity's stepmother joined the kids.
They want to be involved to show their condolence.
Chastity wears her heart on her hand.
That's when they went missing.
Police hope legitimate tips will keep coming in and keep that system busy. We've got that number for you at WTHR.com. Back to you.
Okay. Got like way more.
Lies, probable cause, and a staged murder scene. These are all new revelations.
Okay, so now they're gonna speak about the murder sheet. Well, not the transcript, affidavit, or search warrant.
We're learning about the 27.
And then I want to comment on that. Because they say, well, first off, let's watch the video first.
Williams and Libby German in Delphi, Indiana. A search warrant issued that year has just been made public. It reveals authorities had multiple reasons to suspect Ron Logan had more to do with those killings. They wanted to search his property after the girls' bodies were found, but they didn't do it.
What's up, guys?
A month later, Russ McQuaid has a closer look at that search warrant.
This is the gate they left down.
2 days after the...
I mean, first this. Hear what he says. This is the gate they left down.
2
Like
days
what?
after the bodies were discovered, Ron Logan...
Well, I guess he didn't have like information of the Monon High Bridge yet.
showed us around his property that backs up to Deer Creek and sits at the bottom of the gorge where the Monon High Bridge towers up above, where Libby German and Abby Williams met the man who took their lives.
Oh wait, they did know.
You can kind of see down there. See how the ground's much more matted down over there? I think you're right there.
The search warrant from March...
He's awfully precise, isn't he? But then again, I do not think Ron Logan, by the way, did it, but...
17th, 2017, recently made public reveals Libby German shot 43 seconds of video on her cell phone of this man following them on the bridge at approximately 2:13 p.m. on February 13th. And at noon the next day, the girls' bodies were found on Logan's property. There was quite a loss of blood.
Okay, wait. Okay, so that's the footprint everybody's talking about. This is actually first time I'm seeing this. Well, I did see it after putting it up here, but still. Oh, what's going on here? What's that kind of footprint, though? I cannot make anything of it, but...
And the investigators think the killer may have gotten some of that blood on him. An item of clothing was missing from one of the girls, and, quote, it also appeared the girls' bodies were moved and staged, leading investigators to theorize that the killer took a souvenir from the crime scene and maybe
Here it comes.
took pictures. It looked to investigate.
I'm wondering how they come up with that theory, though, that he took pictures, just because the way the bodies were staged, I guess. Always, like, it seems to me that a serial killer, like somebody who did kill before, would do that, but...
Investigators like the girls died without putting up a fight. Unknown fibers and hairs were collected from the scene. The search warrant authorized investigators to seize any guns or knives Logan had in his house.
What's up, Matt?
A sample of his blood or bodily fluids and his cell phone.
This is my backyard. My backyard just happens to be bigger than most people. How many people have a murder committed at their home in their backyard?
Not that many, Ron.
Russ, thank you for that. Thank you for watching. Click.
Okay, so the thing I want to discuss here is that, according to that search warrant, a piece of clothing got taken, right? And the thing is, on the 15th of February, a piece of clothing was found. You can hear that in one of the transcripts of the police scanners. That's why they sent evidence bags there, and it was underneath the bridge. So there's like this theory that he went, well, he killed those young girls, then he went to the graveyard, like in the straight line, basically. But how? Unless they went under the bridge first and something happened there, or he needed to walk back, which is strange, but could happen. I mean, we do not know that, unfortunately. I honestly could have sworn that this was 50 Cent, but...
With the latest on the Delphi murder case, nearly 5 years after the killing of 2 Indiana teenage girls. Police say they may be closing in on the killer. Amy is here with the latest on the investigation and what the families are saying now. Good morning, Amy.
Yeah, good morning to you, Michael. This is the murder case of 2 young girls who managed to record the suspect with a phone. But 5 years later, he has still not been caught. While the case remains unsolved, Indiana State Police say they still receive 25 to 30 tips a week from all over the world. And they say this case is far from cold. Nearly 5 years since 13-year-old Abby Williams and 14-year-old Libby German were murdered on this Indiana hiking trail. Their killer still at large. And this morning, Indiana State Police issuing a new warning to the culprit.
My resolve to catch him is as strong now as it was day one.
I freaking love Doug Carter, though. Although he's a PR man, his acting is so good.
But the difference now between now and day one is we know about you. A lot about you. Today could be the
What's up, Simon?
Sleep well.
Abby and Libby were last seen near this bridge in February of 2017. Authorities say Libby recorded this image of the alleged killer on her iPhone, along with haunting audio of his voice.
So I'm curious, is this like the place they went down? Because according to, I think G. Cal Keener is his name, right? He showed like also disturbing on the ground, and you can see like gravel and this large black spot, like almost somebody rolled down. Although it's pretty big for somebody falling or rolling down, though. It's almost like they tried to remove something. But that's my honest opinion, though. I do not believe that. But
moments before their murder, apparently telling them to go down the hill. State police also urging anyone who may have communicated with this phony social media profile, Anthony_Shots, to come forward. Police releasing information about these fake Snapchat and Instagram accounts in December, saying the person who created them tried to solicit nude images, obtain addresses, and meet juvenile females. Investigators say the model in these...
That's the thing, though. I mean, what was that? Meet juvenile...
And meet
juvenile females. But that's the thing, he never actually met somebody. Well, oh, hold on, I think he met only one. But that's like so unusual for a catfishing account, isn't it? I mean, if he wants to get like nudes, and he's not that guy that's on the photo, I mean, you use that photo for like a purpose, right? So if you meet somebody, wouldn't that person like run away like crazy? Unless you had like wrong intent.
Females. Investigators say the model in these images is not a suspect.
That's generated a tremendous number of leads for us, and that's as far as I can go.
If you knew Libby, she had her phone attached to her hip all the time.
Libby's grandparents believe the teen knew something wasn't right with the man she encountered, prompting her to record him.
Something inside me that says...
I have a different opinion about that, but
home and say, look
anyways.
at this guy, you know. He was out there really
What's up,
weird.
Byra?
Abby's mother, Anna, reflecting on what her daughter would have been like today.
They'd be finishing up their freshman year in college.
I think honestly that woman is so strong.
She would have turned into a really good young lady.
Both families desperate for the one tip that will bring them closure.
It's probably the smallest thing, but it's that small thing that we're missing. And that's what we just keep hoping for, is that that one small thing will come to light and that this will be over.
Yeah, I'm good, man. Thank you for asking.
Strike again.
Thanks for watching.
You know, it could be your kids. It happened to our family. I don't want it to happen to anybody else. This is not something anybody should have to go through.
No, it isn't. And Police Superintendent Carter has vowed to forge ahead until the killer is found. Hopefully, he will soon be able to give the families of Libby and Abby some closure. That's what his hope is, and certainly take a dangerous man off the streets, guys.
Those families are going.
Hey, man.
Yep. And we all hope for that, Amy. Thank you. And you.
Right. Oh.
Wish TV, your local news source. This is breaking news.
We start the midday news with breaking news from iTeammate. Stunning new revelations in the Delphi murders. iTeammate has obtained court documents that, for the first time, publicly describe.
It's a long time that I've been on Twitch, man.
What was taken from that scene and a potential early suspect in the case. If you have your phone handy, you should have just received an alert from our Wish TV app. iTeammate's Demi Johnson has been on this story from day one, joins us now. Truly powerful document you have there.
Yeah, that's right, Scott. It's this 9-page request.
Well, BG is still at large because, or they know who it is because that's what they make it look like. But it can also be the scenario that they do not know who it is.
For a search warrant filed March 17th of 2017. Now that's a little more than a month after Libby German and Abby Williams were found murdered in Delphi. This disturbing document, for the first time, gives us an investigator's description of the crime scene and what the suspect may have taken with him. iTeammate obtained the request for the search warrant from the Murder Sheet podcast, the same group that first published the interview transcript of Anthony Schott's suspect, Kagan Klein. iTeammate has confirmed the document is authentic. The document, written by an FBI agent, describes what investigators found when they discovered the bodies of Abby Williams and Libby German on February 14th. The agent writes a large amount of blood was lost by the victims at the crime scene.
So a large amount of blood was lost by the victims at the crime scene. That's what it says here, right? I'm not reading it wrong, right? Why are there still like rumors going on that they were killed somewhere else?
Because of the nature of the victim's wounds, it is nearly certain the perpetrator of the crime would have gotten blood on his person or clothing. Authorities also found that 2 articles of clothing from one of the girls was missing from the crime scene, while the rest of their clothing was recovered. It also appeared the girls' bodies were...
And this is why I say again, it was a piece of clothing, I think it was undergarments, yeah, I'm pretty sure it was undergarments found underneath the bridge. So is that the piece of clothing that was missing? Then the killer did not take a piece of, did not take a souvenir.
Moved and staged. The agent goes on to say, based upon my training and experience, it is common for perpetrators of this type of crime to take a souvenir or in some fashion memorialize the crime scene. The agent also references the video on Libby's phone, confirming it was 43 seconds long. Up until now, only a few seconds have been made public. That the girls were followed by the suspect on the Monon High Bridge Trail, and that there were no visible signs of a struggle or fight. The search warrant is for the property of Robert
Guys, who do
Logan,
you think who did
the
it?
land where the girls were found dead. It describes his activity the day the girls went missing. The agent says Logan claimed someone drove him to an aquarium store in Lafayette on the afternoon of February 15th.
Well, we know that not to be true.
At the time the girls disappeared. But the agent says these statements were found to be factually false and intentionally designed
Jinxed
to
it.
deceive law enforcement officers. The agent says Logan contacted his cousin and asked him to tell that story before the bodies were found. Based on investigators' experience, it is reasonable to believe that the creation of an alibi prior to the discovery of a crime indicates culpability or knowledge of the crime.
This is a situation where you've had a lot of, speculation or rumors going around.
Could you imagine if that search in the Wabash River is not going to uncover anything? Then this is gonna be career ending for the murder sheet, because they made such a big deal that it had something to do with the Delphi murders.
That sounded pretty realistic, or perhaps, sounded like well thought out. But it's another thing to sort of see it just in black and white on a court document.
I feel it is really important to get actual court documents where people are actually have to swear.
Yeah, I heard that too, Lynn.
Saying is actually true.
Now let's tell you a little bit about Ronald Logan. It's important to note Logan is dead. He died in 2020. He was charged with a probation violation.
Yeah, I actually made a mistake to say in the last podcast that he died in not 2020, but 2020. And that was not correct, so he died in 2020.
Violation for driving with a suspended license. He was never formally named a suspect and never charged in the Delphi murders.
Oh, really? ISP lab.
In this document, the FBI agent says Logan's voice is not inconsistent with that of the person in the
I did not know that.
Over the years, you've been in contact with state police, with the girl's family.
Yeah, he died in 2020.
About this, and have they said anything?
So I stand
State
corrected.
police told me they did not want to comment on this document. The families pretty much said the same thing. They've actually been very quiet over the last several months as new developments have come out.
All right, so let's recap a little bit here. Demi, thank you. Ronald Logan is now the second person we know police searched and questioned after the girls were murdered. Demi and IT.
Okay, who was the second one though? Because technically Keegan Kline does not count. Yeah, that's my logic though, but
Teammate first told you about another person, Keegan Kline, back in December of 2021. He's the man in jail accused of creating and using the Anthony Shots profile to get
did he, Lynn? Did he? Or got he Epstein? Not kidding. I do believe he died from COVID.
Found while investigating the Delphi murders. Then in March, with the help of the Murder Sheet podcast, we told you about Kline's interview transcript with police. It revealed the Anthony Shots profile did communicate with the girls the day they were killed. A still developing story. Demi just broke it. She'll get right back on working.
Can you look into the future?
Of the day, of course, through Wish TV, wishtv.com, and our news app. You'll get new information.
Wish TV.
Oh.
No, we covered this extensively on Crime Weekly. My co-host and I
want to bring in Derek Levasseur. He's a retired sergeant and
I got you,
host
Lynn, no
of
worries.
Crime Weekly podcast. He's also been closely following this case. Thank you for weighing in tonight. I'd like to start with, why haven't police been able to crack this case when they say the killer is hiding in plain sight? And police have likely interviewed the killer. What is the missing link here?
I mean, I don't know if they've interviewed the killer himself, but I think it's a situation where you have a community where everyone really knows everyone, and you have a situation where it's going to take someone out there in that community other than the killer, knows this individual, may have seen these photos online, and has identified this person, but has chosen for some reason not to come forward. As far as why it hasn't been solved yet, it's a lack of cooperation on that part. It's also the fact that we don't really know what they have and what they don't have. Do they have DNA? Do they have other information about this individual that they have specifically chosen not to release to the public at this point? You know, the previous person who was just speaking was talking about Keegan Kline. This is someone who they had contact with back in 2017, and yet we're only learning about him now. So there are reasons behind why they're doing what they're doing. And I think as this goes forward, especially now, we are going to get a deeper insight into how close they really are to solving this case.
And what kind of connection do you think there could be between this fake social media account and the Delphi murderers?
It could be everything, it could be nothing. I think this is a matter of them going through and dotting their I's and crossing their T's. Clearly, this individual has a pattern of behavior that is suggestive that he could have been involved with something like this.
Not everybody does that, though. A lot of serial killers, for example, the Speed Freak killers. Definitely watch that, guys, if you're interested and love serial killers. Definitely watch that. what we uncovered were 225 documents, and we did a FOIA request on a missing persons case, and it showed that well, one of the speed freak killers were at least active 15 years, and they made so much victims. And although they were fully on drugs, they still committed these murders and were acting just basically normal. And you have a lot of serial killers that did that. B2K, for example.
I'd be really interested to find out whether or not, I know from what we know, Libby or Abby did not have direct contact with him. However, we do know that Libby had her phone. I'm in constant contact with her sister, Kelsey. We know that...
Okay, wait, what did you just say? Not in direct contact?
Libby or Abby did not have direct contact with him. However...
What?
We do know that Libby had her phone. I'm in constant
Okay. This confirms what I'm gonna show you in a few minutes.
Contact with her sister, Kelsey. We know that she did...
Okay, wait. I did not hear that. I was dabbling in my
sister
books.
Kelsey. We know that she did have her phone on her that day. So I'd be interested to find out if in actuality, if she ever did have contact with this Anthony_Shots, or did Abby have contact with him? Because even if they didn't speak to him that day,
Abby didn't have a phone,
they
right?
have said something in passing where they disclosed that they might be going to the Monon High Bridge the following day, which would be enough for this individual to either go himself or tell someone else that they were going to be there around this time.
Now, you know the investigator who since retired in this case, as well as the girls' families, as you mentioned. Do they have a theory about who the killer is?
There's a lot of theories out there.
Nah, not that we know
I've
of.
spoken with the entire family, had the opportunity to meet them.
Also, a lot of rumors about that, right?
When this broke. They do have some theories, but again, they've been very limited.
I mean, the speculation and the sickening about this case.
Indiana State Police, or at least that they're willing to share with the public, which is a great thing. That's how it should be. They too believe that it's someone local, someone to the area, but there is also that possibility.
See, so the family believes that it's someone local as well. I honestly do believe that as well, since the way this individual walked. And it's kind of just logic. That's like the only logic about this case. So do we think it's KK? Do we think it's TK? Nope, definitely not.
That this was a transient, someone who was passing through the area, and that could explain why.
Yeah, a lot of speculation. That's why I'm trying to get like away from that. And watching news segments is not doing that any good, but...
We covered this extensively on Crime Weekly, my co-host and I, Stephanie Harlow, and the trail was a normal trail that you and I would walk down anytime. It was a hiking trail, it was a public area. The Monon High Bridge was an area that was frequented by the locals very often, and if I were out there, I would have no problem walking that.
What do you think, Lynn? Is it local?
The fact that you just never know. Nowhere is ever truly safe, and if there are nefarious people out there looking for victims of opportunity, it can happen anywhere.
Now, you mentioned that you did speak with family members. How are they doing?
They're cautiously optimistic. They've been dealing with this for a long time. I spoke to...
Well, I will prove that as well, that they're not all that optimistic.
Kelsey right before coming on here, and she just wanted to emphasize the fact to all of your viewers out there to keep it focused on what Indiana State Police is looking for, and that's information regarding anyone who may have had contact with this user profile. I would implore everyone out there, don't get caught up on Keegan Klein yet. If you had contact with this user profile, even though it might seem minimal, please contact authorities.
Yeah, I'm not sure either.
Is establishing a pattern of behavior. Something that happened with you, although minimal, may connect another dot that you're not even aware of. So if you had contact at any point with this username, please contact authorities. She definitely wanted me to relay that to everyone out there.
Well, I appreciate you bringing that to our attention, Derek Lavasser.
Well, not only kill 2 children, but if there is no sign of struggle, I mean, isn't that extremely peculiar? I mean, well, what the hell? It's an open discussion, so I might as well speculate. It could mean like a different few scenarios. It could be that they could have been drugged, for example, chloroform, and maybe Libby fell down and lost her shoe that way. Maybe it was somebody they trusted. Or maybe it was somebody they trusted because they reenacted as a law enforcement or as a sheriff, because it was pretty much known that they used drugs there. At least that's also a rumor. I know that, but and I'm curious. I'm really curious about law enforcement if that is true. That is huge because you can pretty much eliminate suspects because of that.
Thank you for joining us tonight.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for having me.
I just feel like
Here we go.
more information and maybe clues.
I actually had contact with Corey, and I said, "What do you think about Doug Carter?" And she directly said, "He's so incompetent." I agree, though. I agree. I mean, although I love Doug Carter, with all due respect, I love like his power, but that dude has some serious narcissistic tendencies.
That were right in front of their face the whole time.
New tonight, the mother of one of the girls murdered in Delphi 5 years ago says she has lost faith in law enforcement.
I'm not sure if they have a local accent there.
IT-Mate revealed stunning new details in the case. Last week, IT-Mate was the first to show you documents that publicly described the scene where
Now go on, Matt.
and Libby German were murdered. And what was taken from the scene.
Welcome back, Matt.
Early suspect in the case, IT-Mate's Demi Johnson, has been on this story since day one. Demi, what did Libby's mom say?
Yeah, so Libby's mom, Carrie Timmons, says learning all of this information 5 years later makes her feel like law enforcement is nowhere near solving the case.
They don't know what they're doing still. They're kind of just circling around the
Just
same
saying,
thing.
just saying.
Nothing. There's not really been a lot of movement in the case.
Carrie Timmons is still trying to connect the dots.
Well, I said Corey, but it's scary.
Why law enforcement never told her family about two people they were looking into as possible early suspects in the murders of her daughter, Libby German, and her friend, Abby Williams.
It's weird that all this information just now comes out and they act like.
Oh, my videos, Lynn?
I don't know. I don't know how important it really is to the actual case, but it seems that there's a lot more information out there than what we know.
In December
Oh, what the hell?
2021, IT-Mate was the first to uncover the 2017 investigation into
Which one did you listen to?
He's the man behind Anthony Shots profile that police say Libby was communicating with the day the girls went missing. We also told you about the request for a search warrant on the property of Ronald Logan, where the girls' bodies were found. Timmons says despite disturbing details in the search warrant, including the part where an FBI agent says the girls' bodies were moved and staged, she doesn't believe Ronald Logan was the killer.
If they had a case against him, they would have built.
Okay, that's not true. That's not true. What he just said. What she just said. She doesn't believe that Ronald Logan wasn't the killer, but in the search warrant there was something totally different. But anyways.
Ronald Logan did it. I believe, and I have said that maybe he knows who did or knows.
Oh, the podcast you mean?
Information because it was there on his property.
Timmons says she has asked Indiana State Police Superintendent Doug Carter to fill in the gaps, but she says so far that hasn't happened. She says she even looked into sources from outside of Indiana for help.
Doug Carter and I don't particularly see eye to eye. We never have. I mean, I've had conversations with police. I've spoken with private investigators, but most of the people that I've spoken with have basically said there's not really a whole lot they can do considering the police won't release information.
At this point, Timmons says she isn't confident the case is any closer to being solved.
I want to know why we still don't have answers, why we're still at a standstill 5 years later, especially knowing what we know now.
I did ask Indiana State Police if they wanted to respond, and was told they did not want to comment. Libby's mom says she does want to remind people that an arrest has not been made and sending tips is still important. Demi Johnson, Wish TV, wishtv.com, and follow us on Facebook.
Because when I first started this case, I was like totally mind blown. And that was just like the general things and the basic things that I knew about this case, right? And first of all, the whole like acting style, being a superhero kind of cop that Doug Carter gave those interviews, it did not sit right with me. Honestly, they were on a lost trail, and he knew it. He was just trying to cover it up. Well, not covering up as I think he did it, but just his whole demeanor was not sitting right with me. And here we go, actually. That's why I'm wanting to show this, because this pretty much captures his demeanor. There's also about the floral fires.
Before we get too far into what I want to talk about today, I want to remind everybody.
Watch that face, though. It's about to explode, I swear.
We also have an open investigation for the floral fire that resulted in the death of 4 little girls. So I just want to remind everybody, we're here today to talk about Abby and Lib, that case is not done. That is still a very active investigation that we're looking into, and we're hopeful that case will be solved.
That's kind of the thing, though, Lynn. I do a lot of research when I do videos, and I always try to collaborate when I do a podcast, for example, to get interviews with family members or see if they want to come on. And I'm a pretty small podcaster, right? So I do not have the ability to make use of my big following. But I did give it a shot with Libby, her grandparents, but they didn't react. Only Corey reacted. As she said, she needed to work a lot, and that was fine. I totally understood that. And I kind of came talking to her, so I could do small talk and just ask questions. And I asked her about Doug. Do you think what do you think about Doug? She said. And Indiana kind of has a history with corruption. So I said to her, do you think Doug Carter is corrupt? You never know, right? I mean, there's also a rumor going on that he was wanting to be governor or something like that. I mean, good for him, though. If he's happy, then fine enough. But she said, just as in that other video, that he's incompetent. So I was asking why. And she was like, yeah, there's just no way that they are going to solve this case the way they are researching it right now.
They didn't create the sticky note today. The sticky note is of those 4 little girls. To include Abby and Libby, and Connie, Ariel, Kira, and Kiana. The sticky note's been on my desk for months. Close to a year now.
I do not believe that. He just couldn't remember the names.
Exact same one at home. It's the last thing I see. Whether it be with a complex homicide, whether it be with an intentional suicide. But I don't think anything's bothering me more than what's occurred in Carroll County, Indiana, in my entire lifetime.
They do think these 2 cases are connected.
The Carroll County residents.
Well, some people do.
It's the first time in my career that we've had a storefront that's housed in investigation or anything. It's housed in 2 very critical investigations. Probably 2 of the most critical investigations in Indiana likely in our history. I've said all along that we, as an agency, will be here as long as I'm breathing and as long as Governor Holcomb allows me to continue to stay in the position that I hold. As I'm breathing here, we're going to stay here. So we'll continue to move forward. We'll continue to drive. We will stay in Delphi, as I told you, many months ago, until I'm no longer the superintendent or not breathing. Whichever comes first. We are not going away. We are not going away. This task force is on the other side of this. I talked to hundreds of them, thousands. Again, one day we'll be able to tell you why we did that and who did it.
So we have 2 cases, right? We have the Delphi murders and the Flora murders. And it kind of seems that in both cases, which are horrible, they're acting the same strategy, and that's mostly silence. I wonder why that is. Doug, tell us.
I hope that one day we can tell you what we know. And I just hope that one day I can look into the eyes of the murderer and ask him why.
Tell me why.
I hope one day I can look into the eyes of the person who killed 4 little girls and then explain to you what we do and when. Again, one of these days, we'll be able to explain those 4 little girls what happened and what we did. I hope that one day that I can...
What? Be hard. What did you? Little known fact. Becky Patty did an appraisal of the house a couple of months before the fire. Is that a rumor, or? Because I kind of want to stay away from that. Because apparently, I'm not gonna lie. That's not my thing now, but. Hold on, they did say they have a strong, solid suspect in the Flora case. But, see, texts are misleading though. That's the same with Leaker, and that's the same with the Erkins thing. It's misleading. That's mainly because it's not confirmed by LE. That's the frustrating part. So we can speculate all we want, but be wary of that though. If that is the case, yeah, then wow. I need to research that. Alright, thank you for that.
We're a small community in Indiana. There are things that we know that only the person who did it would know. What only the killer would know, that we know. But with all that said, it can't be done without all of you.
In any case, Flora, Delphi, the community reaching out, community giving you guys tips or just any kind of information. How key is that to solving the crime?
It's key. It's so key. I'd give my life to find out who killed those little girls. And it's having one individual with the strength to say,
know that we will help them remain anonymous. If they have information that will help us put the people behind bars that are responsible for this horrible crime.
They don't pretend. Oh yeah, we can. Yeah, we can. And we've got to work to regain that community's trust. These community trust. And I think we're getting there. That's not $1 million question. That's $1 billion question. And I'd give my life to be able to answer it. I think that
That's why I said, Lynn, be wary of those rumors. Because if somebody, something like connects, you need to think like twice of it. But when I caught myself of that as well. And it was one speculation after another. And believe me, you, especially in the Delphi case, you go down a freaking rabbit hole. I mean, we know those channels. We have, what's his face? Gray Hughes. We have Aaron Stoner. We have all those cases that say that they know stuff. That's, for example, I always thought that, well, if we look at Actors Ruse, for example, one of the most trustworthy websites that we can get on the Delphi case, they put really credible things up there. And there was one thing in there that says that one of the police officers before Doug Carter did the 2019 press release of the new sketch, interviewed someone from that department, and he said, yeah, in that 43 long recording, it said that the girls were mostly talking about girly stuff, thus meaning it's not threatening, right? So I thought, with my logical sense, that Libby was recording before Bridgman. Well, Bridgman might have walked there, because I kind of get a feeling that it's being zoomed in for some reason. I don't know why. Maybe that's why it's that blurry though, or is it indeed a Snapchat filter? It could be. But why would that police officer say it then that way? It kind of gives like a whole misdemeanor on something you're trying to research. That same Lynn with the John Weaver stuff.
But there's no better evidentiary matter than what human beings saw and can articulate what they saw, or what they think, articulate why they think they do what they do, you see. So we have all kinds of opportunity. And just imagine what happens when sometimes our citizenry doesn't trust us.
I think a crowbar. Not kidding, I do not know. I honestly do not know. I think it has more something to do with the CSAM account. I do not think KK or TK has something to do with this. They might know who, but I'm not on that side of the camp, honestly. And there's little evidence to actually support that they had something to do with this.
And I would just like to think that the person that might know about this.
Yeah, Lynn said that.
Trust us enough to tell us. We've got to work to regain that community trust, these community trust, and I think we're getting there. Over time now, people are starting to talk to us.
And I will
Good people tell us what they know.
in the next video we are actually going to discuss the transcripts. Let me see.
And then that gives us an opportunity to talk to other individuals as
Yeah.
well. So
Hold on, there we go.
I'm pleased with where we are there. Yeah. I think that repetitive nature is going to reveal something that's right before us. We just don't know what it is yet. We are confident that you have told someone what you have done, or at the very least, they know. We cannot allow evil to prevail. Good prevails over evil, not the other way around.
What?
Don't let that happen. Because I refuse to accept evil as a standard bearer in American society, not here.
He had some, definitely that he had some media training.
We cannot allow that to prevail. The Carroll County residents have been doing something that very few of us were confident to understand.
Do you guys like psychology? Because I will show something meanwhile after this one. I need to search it, but it's really interesting. It's really interesting. If you do like micro expressions, that one is amazing. Also has to do with Delphi.
It represents the very best of humanity. And look what happened. That's why it's very personal to me. And for this to happen, again, in such a rural community in Indiana, tells a lot about who we are. And I think that's why it's so personal. This county of Carroll, and all that has happened here, and all of the sadness associated with this county, is unacceptable in a civilized society. Our world is completely out of balance. Yeah, just imagine what happens when we all live piece together on this planet, right? And I believe that we can. And we trust one another. We're not like one another. It's hard to hate up close. But when we truly communicate with each other, good things tend to happen. It comes to my mind every single morning.
Thank you for watching though, guys.
There is not a day goes by at the end of my day that I...
Okay, let's stop. It goes on and on. So let me open a new one. Okay, watch this. Like I said, I do not like to theorize, especially if it goes alongside with rumors. But this one is strange.
What I just said, those specific pieces of information that we're not discussing. The best example that I can give you is if somebody is a victim of a burglary and then they're murdered, everybody wants to know how they were murdered. If we go into the details and we say they were stabbed twice in the back and they were shot in the head, then everybody hears that. And then when we get tips, people tell us that, and the tip is useless. We're keeping information that will only be known by the person or by who that person told. Everybody wants to know how they were murdered. If we go into the details and we say they were stabbed twice in the back and they were shot in the head, then everybody hears that. And then when we get tips, people tell us that, and the tip is useless. We're keeping information that will only be known by the person or by who that person told. And when that's shared with us, it will set off the alarm bells and we'll know. That will only be known by the person or by who that person told. And when that's shared with us, it will set off the alarm bells.
See, that's the kind of thing. It looks like he's looking like, I think this is a mayor, right? He's actually looking at that other agent right there, but fair enough. right there.
I was laying awake in bed at night just wondering.
See, this just doesn't like he was that long ago standing in that church, just a few days after that happened. And the connectivity in that community is really special. Again, none of us, from our own perspective, will ever forget that.
So we won't go into theories or concepts.
Like, what is that supposed to mean? I mean,
I was laying awake in bed at night just wondering.
See, this just doesn't like he was that long ago standing in that church, just a few days after that happened. And the connectivity in that community is really special. Again.
okay, so by this, you go like, yeah, they look at each other and yeah, they might be bored or something, but you draw the conclusion that what that guy just said happened. And this is kind of like the thing where rumors start. It could be true, but we do not know since they do not tell. It's not from an official standpoint, so it's a rumor. It's an assumption. It's a hypothesis.
None of us, from our own perspective, will ever forget that.
So we won't go into theories or concepts.
No, we do not. Okay. Let's go take a look at the transcripts, please. And girls. Okay. So I'm just gonna wait. I can't do it bigger, but it kind of obscures my view. So this is the transcript of Barbara McDonald. Hi Keegan, how you doing? I'm good. How about you? Not gonna read it all though. So they haven't met. Yeah, I didn't know your name. Oh, do you realize your name? Yeah, of course he does. Wow. Yeah, I can hear you. Oh, okay. Can you hear me? Yeah. Black. Yeah, it's blackened. Should say. Okay, so I'm just gonna skip ahead since this is like way too long. But let me see. There we go. Okay, so I'm pointing this out, right? So I'm just gonna do like a quick skip over. You can guys rewatch it or watch the official one. I'm just gonna point out one thing that I noticed. So he points out that he feels being harassed completely. That guy is not the brightest chicken. Did you have anything to do with the murders? No. Of Abby and Libby? No, not at all. I gave him DNA, a hair follicle test. That's a plea of innocence. Just so you know. I mean, you can get a lot of information just by hearing somebody their voice. But anyways, so he has an alibi. I was at my house. They have my GPS locations and everything. Okay. And you were in yeah, Peru. I was gonna say India, but Indiana. Yeah, you said. Okay. And audible that you created this fake profile. Yeah, and he has been pretty much clear about that, right? He has been completely honest about the CSAM, the CP, everything. Was that you? Okay, so here's the point. So Anthony Schatz was communicating with Libby. Now keep this in mind, folks. That's what they say. That's what they say. Was that you? Not that I'm remembering. What's that they say? They are, by the way, the interrogators. And by the way, you can lie in an interrogation to get the truth. So you may have been communicating with Libby, but maybe not. Right. And were you even trying to meet these girls in real life? No. That you were talking to? No, never. There are some contradictions about that, but fair enough. So we were just asking for images, right? And talk, right? Did that? Well, whatever. That's apparently a phone connection. Oh, he's a lawyer now. Okay, well, good for him. Now, I do not think it's the former mayor, though, honestly. I have a really interesting theory. But we're gonna do that, like, at the very end. I'm kind of be. Okay, hold on. Yeah, it's cutting out. Okay. So do you remember? So do you remember the night of the 13th, the night that the girls went missing? Do you remember communicating with Kelsey German? No, I don't, and that's a fact. That's a fact that Kelsey German had contact with Anthony Schatz. So this is where the part, I'm just gonna say it. So Barbara McDonald, before this got released, right? The police did not say anything about the Anthony Schatz account. What if Kelsey German had contact with Anthony Schatz, found out he was a creep, they wanted to meet, and it was not Keegan Kline at all, and they were gonna meet up at that bridge. And Kelsey went like, yo sis, you need to go there, find out what creep it was. It's a theory, right? It's a theory. But because of this, that's why they found out the Anthony Schatz account. I do not believe because of Liberty or cell phone. Has anybody else had access to this Anthony Schatz account? I mean, information. I live with my dad. So he already threw his dad under the bus just by saying this. But how do we know that, Matt? How do we know that? I mean, he didn't lie about the CSAM, did he? He did not lie about the child pornography. He blatantly states that he has contact with minors because he wants to get nudes. I mean, people can, sure, we all assume that Keegan Kline has something to do with it, but it's an assumption. So, do you think that your dad can be involved? No, he said. But Matt, just explain the why. Why do you think, even though KK lies, that he has something to do with it? I think it's a huge step from child pornography to murder. But that's the thing. That's what I'm trying to explain. In my personal opinion, I do not think, and I lost my viewers because of that, but I do not care. I do not think it's Keegan Kline. I honestly do not think. Might he know who did it? Sure. But there are a lot of people who might think that that somebody did it. So you are both at home in Peru, Indiana. Yeah, I live with him. Got that. So you know that he didn't have anything to do with the murders, right? And he even gives him an alibi, and a lot of people are pissed about that, but I'm pretty sure after 5 years that has been fact-checked. But you think he may have been using that profile to talk to girls? Yeah, that's the only other person that could have caused, cause he lived there. You know what I mean? It keeps reminding me of Snoop Dogg. You know what I'm saying? So yada yada yada. It says that turned over a bunch of electronics which would search in your home. Okay, so we know, right, that he like deleted stuff. I mean, but Matt, this guy cannot even screw in a light bulb, let alone run a pedophile ring. I mean, if he's a pathological liar, do we honestly think that he has the IQ of a peanut? Anyways, that's what I was gonna show. There's a lot of they say I did that, so it's not that that he has like any recollection, and that's fair enough though. But that's like the only thing in these transcripts that keeps coming up. They are saying he's not protecting himself. It keeps saying they are saying that. Nope.
First at 5 with 950 tips in the span of about 24 hours just after Indiana State Police released a new sketch, video, and audio of the prime suspect in the investigation into who killed Abby Williams and Libby German in Delphi in the year 2017. And we've been asking so many questions, and you have been asking us as well. One of the questions you've been asking is, why is this new sketch so vastly different than the other? A sketch released nearly 2 years ago.
Well, working for you, Call 6 Investigates Paris LaBelle has been tracking down answers to those questions you've been asking, and he joins us with what he's finding out. Happens every day.
You guys know what a Ponzi scheme is, right? I think that's the case, Matt. I think he's a scapegoat. I think he's not the mastermind behind this. Honestly, I do not think that. He's too stupid for that. If you let somebody else take the blame, make shots according to your behalf, wouldn't you think that would be really smart? I mean, that's how these things work. It wouldn't be the first time. Look at Epstein. Epstein had like a shitload of people that were from high standard that he actually got a lot of money with because he had cameras. And he just blackmailed the shit out of them. Okay, fair enough though, but this one is mean, but just listen.
Those sketches were created from people who spotted the suspect on that day.
Well, obviously this new sketch, we've all been looking for the wrong man for 2.5 years.
But with that, why are the two sketches so different?
Most of us think we see things, but in fact, we don't see what we really saw.
Jim White is a retired state police district commander and is now part of IUPUI's School of Public and Environmental Affairs.
When we go to the artist and try to get the artist to create a rendition of what we think we saw, many times it's not what we really did see.
Remember back to that person that walked by the camera at the beginning of the story? That was our TV6's real-time manager, Bob Blake. But can you remember what he was wearing? Was it a light gray shirt, a white shirt, or a black shirt?
Black shirt and glasses.
Can you remember his face? Was he wearing glasses?
I already watched the video, so sorry.
For another moment. It's hard to do.
There's a big problem with composite drawing.
Former FBI agent and ABC News contributor Brad Garrett says often the composite sketches don't even look like the suspect.
If you and I walk by each other and I don't know you, and then somebody says, let's do a drawing of the person you just walked by, it would be sort of pieces of information left in my memory about who you are. And so as a result, then the composite obviously could well not be accurate.
Back to the person that walked by earlier in the story, it's probably even harder now to recall the shirt color and if he was wearing glasses, let alone what his face looked like. If you remembered a black shirt and glasses, you were right. But what about after a few days? That's some of the things investigators have struggled with and points to some of the reasons why the sketches could be so different.
Investigators say this new sketch is the primary sketch, and if you have any information about this person, call the tip line. They also say make sure you don't take this sketch and put it next to somebody else's picture on social media. That's just detrimental to the investigation. Reporting tonight, Paris LaBelle, RTV6.
Paris, thank you for all of that information. All of this is about getting justice.
That's kind of the thing. Hold on. I will show you guys because I got mind fucked as well. I do apologize for the language, but liberty. Yeah, I this is the part where I kind of got like fucked up. Somebody emailed me and showed the YouTube page of As Above So Below, and that guy like does pixel analysis. And I have to be honest, that I will show you guys in a second. That does look like a hatchet and like a blurry object, but Okay, I need that Snapchat photo. And I will show you guys. This one. So I thought at first, right, that somebody was walking here. I honestly believed that somebody was walking there. But then I saw that photo of Cheyenne. Let me see. She also made that picture. Where's her picture? Where's her picture? Why can't I see it? Oh wait, is her name? Nope. How the fuck do you spell Cheyenne again? Is it Cheyenne? See, there we go. And it's actually that fence over here. I was like, oh, that's a dude. But it wasn't.
For the Delphi daughters, Abby and Libby. And the reward for the information that leads to an arrest in the case now stands at more than $200,000. If you recognize the man in the new sketch or have any information on this case, you're asked to call the tip line number you see right there on the screen. 844-45.
So let's say for confusion, right? Because I watched yesterday an episode about the sketches of Captain Howdy, and that guy is a smart cookie, honestly. And he said, what if older people recognize somebody younger, and younger people recognize somebody older? That's why the two sketches are like totally different. I was like, yeah, you have a point. When were the girls found? Do we have a timestamp? Wasn't it like 12:30? Okay, then let's go back. You heard what he was saying, right? Okay.
Get home to approximately 6:30 in the evening, and then the neighbor stopped to ask for permission to look back here.
That cannot be right. Okay, this is 12:15, you say, right? Okay. So somebody was on Ron Logan, their property, without asking permission? Or was it the day before? It might have been the day before. I apologize.
The girl.
Liberty German shot this chilling
I overanalyze sometimes.
image of the suspected killer approaching the girls on a hiking trail, and she recorded the killer's voice.
What do you hear on there?
Nothing that I recognize at all. No one. I I don't recognize the voice at all.
I asked Ron Logan to repeat those same chilling words.
Down the hill.
Do you hear that? Down the hill. This is like down the hill.
And that image of the suspect?
The picture is of such poor quality, it doesn't look like anyone I've ever seen.
Police have not revealed what led them to search his home, but said in a statement, "We basically are here to try to eliminate him or put him as a higher suspect in our case." Ron Logan told me he is devastated by the discovery of the bodies on his property.
That was like being hit with a bolt of lightning on my property.
This guy is so senile. I mean, I do understand like the severity of this case, but he's like, yeah, I can't believe this happened on my property.
I mean, you just can't put words to it.
Okay, let me just click this away and let's do some further research. Let's eliminate some rumors. Ain't nothing but a heartache. I wanted that away. Rumors, Delphi. There we go. Oh, this content is not available in your country or region. Yeah, you racist mofos. Oh, by the way, guys, did you on the 5th year anniversary of this case, this murder got set on the wanted list. I did not know that. Delphi murders. There we go. Oh, the mob crew is also really good. So, there we go. I'm gonna read a bit. The 2017 unsolved double homicide of teens Liberty German and Abigail Williams, known as the Delphi murders, is one of the most discussed and debated cases of the social media era, with people across the globe invested to finding a resolution. While the definitive basics of the case are known, there is still much mystery surrounding the details of what transpired. With nearly unlimited outlets to discuss the case, ranging from a message board and Facebook groups to call-in true crime shows, people often try to bridge the gap between the known and the unknown. Sometimes the more circulated theories get taken as fact. We've compiled a list of some of the most oft-repeated rumors circling the Delphi murders case to either refute or validate which facts from our sourced interviews are trusted. Okay, this is actually a new one. Rumor: Abby and Libby died on different dates. Because allegedly, Libby died of blunt force trauma, and no, Abby died of blunt force trauma, and Libby got like halfway decapitated, or nearly decapitated. A newspaper Libby German obituary lists her as her date of death as February 13, 2017. Abby Williams' obituary lists her date as February 14, 2017. Things that have simple explanation have turned into full-blown conspiracy theories by an online community desperate for answers. Fair enough. Where there are none. And simple as this fact is that Abby and Libby have died on different dates on their headstones. Okay, so explain to me, guys. Yeah, we're gonna go and act as ruse in a second. How the fuck? No, Lynn, but do you see what I'm meaning by this? I think Keegan Klein has been used to create that profile. You know what? We're going to act as ruse right now. Never mind. I actually gonna just Google that. There we go. This is only the best source that we can get though. Freedom Bridge, Monon High Bridge. So a suspicious vehicle is parked at the abandoned CPS DCS building. Okay, let's go listen to that recording again. They actually state the vehicle is. What's up? I'll let that check out, and apparently it has something to do with tire.
601, 79, 602. When I left that group, I was already dressed out, and I came up closer to the scene. Okay, we are loaded. We're getting a vehicle to take us all up there as a group. Just driving everybody up there separately. I got some pickup that's going to take us up there versus bringing several vehicles. So we'll be up there in just a minute. No hurry.
And this is not the one I want. I want the full one. Is this the one? No, that's not the full one. Come on, dude. Also not the one. For fuck's sake. Okay, wait. YouTube. Okay, there we go. Spinner obtained by FOIA. Okay, nice. Damn, that's loud.
Delphi Fire. Request you be en route to station in reference to be briefed on 2 missing juveniles. Request you be en route to station to be briefed on 2 missing juveniles. Go time 1902. Delphi Fire. Request you be en route to station in reference to be briefed on 2 missing juveniles. Route to be check. Request you be en route to station. Reference to be briefed on 2 missing juveniles. Second to 1906.
It's good that we have this footage though, because we can actually see crime scene tape in this.
Camden Fire, we need manpower at the station for a detail. We need manpower at the station immediately for detail. 326. 305, your location? 300 west on 500 north. I'm by the Berkshire residence and stand by a minute. 2361. 2, go ahead. 20. 300 and 400 on 500 north. Right behind you. Units go back to station. We're going to regroup. 10-4.
Fire, Delphi Fire. 551 is requesting you all come to station to be briefed. Come to the station, be briefed. 2320. Hospital, 601. Carroll County Fire Unit, daily press with one announcement. There will be a Flora fire meeting on station at 1900 hours. Attention all Carroll County Fire Units, this is your daily press with one announcement. There will be a Flora fire meeting on station at 1900 hours.
Do we have the timestamp on? I do not think on the police scanners, right?
Signal 8, the county highway garage with S3, reference signal 50.
County Medic 1's clear now. Can you advise what this is for again?
Should be signal 50. S3 will explain when you get there. In the area of the county highway garage.
Medic 1's route to St. Elizabeth East.
En route to St. E at 1801. 1822.
By 20.
Carroll County, go ahead.
Yeah, it's going to be en route to the scene on 300 north for short detail.
So after the scene, the bodies apparently already got found. That's why they need to regroup. I think.
5 unit 1836. All Delphi fire units request to be en route to help with the search party. I'm out.
To help with the search party. I'm so confused.
Command, Carroll County. Delphi Fire Command, Carroll County. Delphi Command, I have Deputy Gene Cole that's inquiring if you know who's out at 625 West and 250 North. Apparently there is a truck out there belongs to a fire personnel needing it removed.
Move that truck. We're telling them to drive away.
6, can you repeat your traffic? I was only able to get bits and pieces. 551 Carroll County. Fire Command, Carroll County. No force search is in effect. Affirmative. Carroll County. Up there also. If you are available or if you want us to tone Medic 3, we have a request for an ambulance on 300 North, just east side of the Heartland. 7 will be speaking to a Marty Webb staging in that area, side of the Heartland. On standby just in case anything happens with all the people out and about. My officer requests you speak to a Marty Webb. 2 Carroll County. 2 Carroll County. 2. Attention available medic. Request you en route to Indiana Packers Employee Health Clinic.
That's not me, guys.
1165
It's just a video.
North, US 421. 1165.
I'll still show.
Staging in that area, side of the Heartland. On standby just in case anything happens with all the people out and about. My officer requested you speak to a Marty Webb. 2 Carroll County. 2 Carroll County. 2. Attention available medic. Request you en route to Indiana Packers Employee Health Clinic at 1165 North, US 421. 1165 North, US
Okay, good. You timestamped it.
52-year-old patient having chest pain.
So keep in mind though, this is not when the girls were found.
Time out 1110. There.
Wait. Lynn, are you sure the timestamp? Are you 100% sure? Okay, be right back. I'm just gonna let this play. That cannot be right. That cannot be right. Hold on. Is it that part? Let me check that. Sorry. Needed to go to the toilet. This is filmed at... What was the time? 10:52. Okay, wait. That cannot be right. That cannot be right. I mean, I believe your credibility though. 100%. But we see in this video, in this chopper video, we can see the police lint already being out there. Oh, wait. Oh, no. That's the... Never mind. I fucked up. Never mind. What we are being shown is actually the chopper, not the chopper footage time span, but the police. I was like, what? If this guy actually shows us, because I can see police lint in a few. I apologize.
Lafayette, 1451, 1042, signal 54, reference last detail.
1451. District 14 units of Centilla case, 2 missing juveniles. Centilla case, 2 missing juveniles. Liberty Rose Lynn German. Date of birth 12/27/2002.
I was like, wow, that's huge. That's my own mistake.
Blonde and blue. Subject was last seen wearing a tie-dye shirt that is fringed at the bottom. Gray sweatpants with black writing and black shoes. Last seen at the High Bridge in Delphi, Indiana, at approximately 1300 hours on 2/13/2017. Second juvenile, Abigail Williams, date of birth 6/23/2003, 5'4", blonde hazel. Subject was last seen wearing a gray zip-up sweatshirt and a red shirt under it and jeans. Authority, Sheriff Carroll County, Lafayette, state clear 0138.
State 974. On duty, departing Carroll County for Tippecanoe County for new case. Clear 974.
District 14 unit, Flight County requests the unit reference of car versus deer property damage. Car versus deer property damage near Woolkit, 1100 West near 500 North. 1100 West near 500 North. Unit available by
Lafayette 1415 from the post. Lafayette 1418 on I-65 172.
Unit en route, that'll be a tan Buick. I do have tips for the subject who was originally called in by a family member.
Lafayette 1415, I'm square on the tan Buick. What was the location again? White County?
1100 west, north of 500 north. 1100 west, north of 500 north. Advise Walkett area.
5 north, US 421 for a 52-year-old patient having chest pain. Time out 1110. Clear. Medic 2, were you clear direct? On route 1111. You're arriving 1120. Stop. 351.
They were checking out that SUV as well, but that's the SUV for Pat Brown.
Higher ground, all myself number 652012666.
Last 4.
2666.
Fire command, Carroll County. Command, Carroll County. 61 is requesting your TX. I have his number here, ready to copy. 765-201-2666. 201-2666.
Yes, 1415.
1415.
Trying to quick drop off from pilot off by not to go back on the interstate. 24th
1450. 1444 Lafayette.
1444 0263 and 5th Street, West Lebanon.
Vermilion County just TX supposed to advise that there's a gray van in the ditch or in the grassy area, I-74 westbound, State Road 63 near mile marker 4. Advise it's a female subject by herself. The hazards are on. Requesting.
This is the part where somebody mailed me, and they say they see here a body laying, but it's, I think, reflection.
They have no units available.
Yeah, it's reflection from that tree accident.
Advise I-74 westbound, about the 4 mile marker.
Here's where you can see the police tape in a minute.
9598, that's a 2 mile marker.
1444, thank you.
79601, 79602.
They're very close, actually, where the bodies were from.
79601.
So if you guys look in a second here, and we'll try to set it still.
The area that we're searching here in area 4.
See that? Let's go back.
For the area that we're searching here in area 4.
A shining object here. It's police tape. There we go. Right here.
Go ahead.
We don't have here, but I'm being told if you go under the old highway, if you go under the railroad bridge, it's right there.
What is right there on underneath?
We all 481 on DMA 3.
Tracker 601, go ahead.
Marty, can you GX my cell?
Stand by, one.
601, 602, we are north of that railroad bridge. I believe we're in location. We're going to start searching this area.
What's that?
Okay, 9598.
Oh, never mind.
9598.
I'll be changing the tire. She should be on the road in about 10, 15 minutes.
9598.
486, 601.
Go ahead.
direct the dog search team once I get them to you. Clear, we're searching.
I keep that's the last time I watched the video as well. I kept seeing this, but it's probably nothing. But
Also, I'll stand by here to fertilizer plant. Claire, if you could maybe have part of your team go in that general area that they're walking toward. D-10-9, I didn't copy. You're broken up.
Upper Sun now.
I didn't copy your last traffic. Can you repeat? Without disturbing the tracks of the area, the general direction that they are walking in, or that the tracks are leading to walk in, and try to keep everybody out of that general area until the dog search teams get there. I've got one coming on the way. How best is it for me to tell them to get to you? Basically, if you're leaving the command center, head towards the bridge, towards 300 north, go up to the stop sign, hang a right, and you'll see our pickup there. Claire, I'll let them know as soon as I get here there. I've got one coming on the way. How best is it for me to tell them to get to you? Basically, if you're leaving the command center, head towards the bridge, towards 300 north, go up to the stop sign, hang a right, and you'll see our pickup there. Claire, I'll let them know as soon as I get here. 10-4.
21, Copter 5.
21.
We went up Deer Creek probably 4 miles, flew down it as well, nothing. We've checked all the surrounding fields within about a 3-mile radius. Do you have any further for us?
Copter 5 working clown.
Copter.
Copter 5 working clown.
Copter. We're going to be 10-8. If there's any development or any additional areas they develop, any leads, then let us know. We'll come back and check those.
Well, yes, clear.
Operations, Copter 5. 5 on KY there.
Copter 5 operations is working off of DMA 3.
Clear. You're on the ops 1 still. Lafayette 8914, 1046. 1046, 1028 's Handicap, Indiana, D. David. 922, V. Victor, K. King. So, pewter colored Silverado in the cab. We're not changing the tire at 2nd and South Street, Lafayette.
89-4.
Lafayette 89-4.
89-4.
You would assume that you would see something, but
Fires 814, 2017, 1029, 380.
We're not changing the tire.
89-4.
Marty, this is 354.
354, go ahead.
If you got any ETA on my dogs, we're just standing there.
I'm still waiting to hear back from uptown. Supposed to be on the way. Sheriff was supposed to call me back as soon as he gets. The 179-600.
I'm 1024 for the tire change. If you would start me a card. Reference a criminal incident. Lafayette 1440.
I can't help it, guys. But I keep seeing here something, but that's probably not the area.
44, I'm out of my each new detail.
1444.
44, I'm out of my each new detail.
1444.
It's not the area because they're here.
Thanks, sir.
Because if we check on Active Rouge, let's see. Should be a photograph of the detective. I don't know where general areas though, but just for the visualization. Come on. There we go. So look at this. And this, right? Oh. Should be on the right. That's that tree right there.
600 on DMA 3.
Oh no, that's not that tree. I apologize. But surrounded area, we should see it in a minute.
Any tipping 100 DMA 3. When I left that group, I was already stressed out, and I came up closer to the scene.
Okay, we are loaded. We're getting a vehicle to take us all up there as a group. We're driving everybody up there. I got some pickup that's going to take us up there versus bringing several vehicles. So we'll be up there in just a minute.
No hurry. .601, 79.602. 602, go ahead. Just had a citizen stop by our area, advised that the girls have been found in the water. Can you confirm that? Negative, we have no confirmation of that whatsoever. He advised it was a John Weaver that told him that information. We have no confirmation of that whatsoever. That's 601. Just hold all of your traffic. I'm up at the scene now. Lafayette 89.
89 point.
This is Ben Howard County Sheriff's Department evening radio check on day 6 object test KSJ 269 1838. 651. Have somebody bring 520 out, 528 with the ropes.
With ropes, I assume he means like the lint. Lynn, isn't this Ron Logan's house?
When your traffic's cut down the middle, we don't know who you're calling. Looking for 602. Have him and his team come out to the command post. 626 will be clear on that traffic post.
1410. And you're requesting the 300.
Oh wait, you said something. To approximately, let me see if I can see what went on.
For the Delphi incident, plus you go to 300 north.
Lafayette 14-4, I believe that was, he's wanting the probationary troopers, the ones that just got their commission, to signalate that location.
1415 Lafayette.
Up back to the incident.
Bound 180, Lafayette County, take it.
Clear, coordinator 3.
Lifeline Center, Lifeline 1 on flight watch.
Lifeline 1, go ahead.
Roger, 1 is 3 minutes final for South Bend Memorial.
That's there, 3 minutes. Oh, South Bend, 1340.
But we have more. Hold on. I'm actually at top of my own channel. Amazing.
Scrub floors.
Wait,
Here's extra.
it's not the right one.
District 14 units, a Pentello case, 2 missing juveniles.
That's also not the right one.
What do you tell your people and the people that come through here, you know, who may be not necessarily losing hope, but it gets difficult after so many months?
It's true. This has obviously, Paris, been something that this county's we've never had this before, and so, you know, for me, my biggest thing is my faith in God. I have a strong faith, and so I also have faith in the investigators we have on board. You know, who would have thought that we would have, you know, local all the way up to federal involved with this situation, because this is small town USA, and so for us to have the best of the best, as I've been putting it, on board, that's where I tell folks, you know, that's our drive, that's our focus, and we also get feedback from other outside law enforcement agencies that maybe aren't directly connected, but from what they see of what we're doing here, they give us feedback and say, you guys are on the right track. You know, your investigators are doing a fantastic job, and you're on the right track, and you will get this resolved. For the community, you know, the outpouring of support is just, some days I can't put words to it. It's just, I thank the community for every individual that's, you know, either offered food or even words of encouragement. Those simple things sometimes are some of the best attributes we get from our community. And so I think the community, obviously, I feel like has faith in us. You know, there are the naysayers out there, and that happens in every community. But I feel just as confident as we did from day one. And I know this has been a long time. And I've commented the last couple of days to different folks in the community that I'm not real sure, even as sheriff of this county, if we really know how to react or how to respond, because again, we've never had this, and so here we are. So, you know, what's the textbook answer here on responding to this? I'm not sure if there is one.
How hard is it though for, you know, some of these investigators?
Hi Annie, thank you for watching. No problem.
The investigation, you lay down and your head just must keep running and running and running.
Yeah, I think it is difficult, but I think that's the plus with having some of these outside agencies come on board with us, that if, you know, my guys or any of the state's guys need to take a break, we have these other outside agencies that come on board and say, hey, we'll be glad to fill the gap. And so that has helped that process, so that, I know like, you know, several county and city agencies surrounding Carroll County have sent investigators to us to come on board, and some of them have been on board since day one. Obviously, some have had to go back and attend to their business in their respective jurisdictions and then come back to us. And so,
what's up, James?
So even though
you doing all right, Annie?
They, you know, provide a day or two or whatever the case may be for one of our guys to take a break, you know, there's an opportunity for us to bring a fresh individual into the picture, and that being from an outside agency.
To see the commitment of your deputies, of everybody who's involved in this, whether it's just for a short period of time or it's been the entire time, what's that like to see just the constant commitment?
Mm-hmm. The initial word that popped into my mind was pride. I have a lot of pride for not only our folks, but every individual that's committed to this investigation. And again, I resort back to what I said earlier, the drive and the focus. You know, we're in the business of seeking justice in all situations that come our way. And so this is obviously different than any other case, like I said earlier, but the pride factor, I think it's as if everyone has a hand in this. And so they want to see it carried through to fruition.
Lane alarm.
25th of April.
I'm Riley. I'm with the Indiana State Police. I'm the Public Information Officer from the Lafayette Post.
Steve Mullen, Delphi Police Department, Chief of Police.
Topaz, a big Carroll County Sheriff.
Basically,
I love Tove, dog. You always is so mellow. I'm Tom Lazenby from the Carroll County Sheriff's Department.
we're going to make this going to be short and sweet. We don't have that much at this point in time. Basically, what we've got, we have found two bodies. Is that the Sugar Creek? Deer Creek, sorry. In Deer Creek, about a mile east of town. We are investigating this as a crime scene. We suspect foul play. We have not made positive identification of the two bodies, so we're not going to be releasing any information on them at this point in time. We've got the Indiana State Police is assisting the Carroll County Sheriff's Department and the Delphi City Police Department in the investigation here. We also have the FBI Crime Scene Investigation Group here out of Indianapolis.
And that already says something, right? So this was made 14 February 2017. If they directly call the FBI, then it already says something over these two girls. These two girls.
The thing the family asked us to do is to thank all the communities around Delphi and the people here in Delphi for assisting in attempting to locate these the two young children that were missing earlier. They just wanted to say thank you to those people, and thank you. They were just wanted to express their gratitude toward the hard work that was done in helping search for these children.
Has the search been called off for these two people?
Not officially, because we have not positively identified the bodies at this point in time.
We have people still searching the woods and creeks.
There's still people out looking, but it has been scaled back. Let me just put it that way.
Are the bodies of the two individuals recovered are those of young female children?
I'm not at liberty to give that information out as of this time.
Who found them?
I'm not going to say at this point in time.
Would know that.
Why do you believe that they was found?
Just the way the bodies were found. That's about all I can say at this point in time.
Or they were water?
They were on the edge of the water, from what I understand. That's about the best I can tell you.
Any outside injuries?
So there is a huge difference, though. They're the edge of the water and 50 feet or 50 yards. Sorry, I'm dead sure. We work here in meters, so. But according to the grandparents of Liberty, they said they were deep in the forest. So that brings like also a huge thing of confusion.
I'm not going to make a comment on that at this time. That I'm not sure. 12:15? About 12:15 this afternoon.
Yeah, Lynn, you're right. 12:15.
We have not gotten that far into the investigation, so I cannot comment on that.
Sheriff, you were from the community. Talk about this search that this parent recovery has taken on your county.
It's been a long several hours. It's played tremendously on the emotions of the community, but the plus is